We are talking. We're talking footballers. Betrayal, actually, is something that comes up periodically. We've seen players do it. We've seen managers do it. What are your as a former footballer in the modern game as well? Far later than when I played. How should fans view players moving between clubs where it does feel like betrayal? Because it's ultimately a job, isn't it? That's what footballers are paid to do. It's a job for them, and they're a gun for hire.
It is, yeah, but you can see both sides of it really. Fans will always feel betrayed by certain players. Probably what they said. The Wayne Rooney one sticks in your mind. Once a blue, always a blue. Went to Manchester United. You know, it's what they say and what you do. But as a football player, you've been there. You are a piece of meat, really. So if you have a bad season, you're either not going to play or they're going to sell you. So if you have a good season and then you get offered good money or good contract somewhere else, you never make it's never the right decision, but it's never the wrong decision. You know, I left Crystal Palace to go to Birmingham City. It was the wrong decision in hindsight, but at the time, it was absolutely right for myself and my family. So as a footballer, you do what's best for you, exactly the same as what a manager would do and what an owner would do.
But that decision to leave, whose did it come down to? Because there's a lot of moving parts in a transfer. It's not just the player. There are all sorts of things that go on behind the scenes.
Just talking from experience, my experience was when I was at Crystal Palace. I had a fantastic good few years, probably the best in my career, 3 years. And I was offered a new contract at the club, but it was a massive pay cut on what I was on at the time. Whereas I was going to sign for Birmingham as a marquee player. It didn't work out for me at Birmingham. I think I played 4 games in like 2 years, so it was an awful decision to leave.
I think they felt about it.
And well, I know how they feel about it. Yeah, so
things don't always work out as you said.
No, but for me and myself and my family, it was the right decision.
When did you realise this? Actually, it's not
day one.
Oh gosh!
Madly enough, day one, I went back to my wife who was in the house that we'd just moved into, and I said, "I've made a terrible call here. I've made a rick," and it was nothing to do. Lee Clark was a manager at the time, and we just didn't get on in terms of I was a footballer, he's a manager, and
Did you know what happened?
I think I played the first 9 games, and then done okay. I think I got 6 assists, scored a goal, so I was doing all right, but I had an awful game. I mean, the worst of my career on telly against Barnsley. I was a bit injured at the time. I had a calf strain after pre-season. It's like them blisters.
Oh, see, there you go. Right there. There's the example. Carrying an injury into a... no one cares.
But
no one cares.
I played... we lost 5-0. 2 goals were definitely 100% my fault. Right. And, I don't think I played again. So we didn't I didn't have an opportunity to make up for my mistake. Yeah. So it just didn't work. But... If I talk financially as a football player, it worked for me and my family.
There you go. That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
08717 22 33 44. When did you feel the most betrayed by a player at your club? Every single club has got one. There is one that stands out like a sore thumb. Let's go and speak to Dave, the Manchester United fan who's dialed 08717 22 33 44. Good evening, Dave.
Hi guys, how you doing? Pleasant to speak to you.
I'm all right. Do you feel sorry for footballers at this time of year, Dave? Do you wake up and think those poor lads having to pound the fields with blisters in these temperatures?
Well, I can't say I feel sorry, but at the same time, I guess they're going to be sensible, right? So
that's good enough.
Health and safety era. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, these guys are fitter than I can ever imagine being, and it doesn't mean that they're not susceptible to these conditions, but they're not normal, are they?
You do feel sorry for the players. Them, that's fantastic.
It's good. It's lovely of you, Dave. Well, that's great. Honestly, that's as a former footballer, all I can do is speak on behalf of Dan as well. I appreciate your sympathy. I appreciate it as well. I'm delighted. Cheers, Dave.
You're welcome.
Go on, then, Dave. What do you want to say?
Well, as a United fan, the one that I just immediately reached for my phone, the one that still sort of niggles at me was. After the treble, and he retired, and then went to Portugal, and then Villa, and then City, and that's Peter Schmeichel. That did irritate me a little bit, and it's still in my subconscious because I immediately picked up the phone.
I know.
So that affects Dave. That affects you when he's gone from 2 clubs and then gone to Man City.
He hasn't done that
still
directly.
Affects you.
But it was like the retiring from United. He retired from United, and then within 3 years he was at City, and that's where he finished. So I don't know.
How did he do at City? Did he win anything?
I had a quick look at Wikipedia when I think he had 29 appearances, I think it was. So he was only there one season. It was 2002 and 3, so he wouldn't have won anything, I don't think. It was just, I was surprised when I remember. I do remember, I know it's best part 20 years ago, but I do remember that popping up and like stood in front.
I can tell.
And there was another from the same squad in 99, and obviously he had more clubs than a pack of cards in between, but Andy Cole ended up at City as well, right?
How many clubs did he go to in between?
I don't know, 4 or 5 something.
I think, Dave, do you not think the rules change a little bit if they go there indirectly? You know,
I know.
What would you rather?
The question was ending up at a rival, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, how if you
directly to a rival?
Well, the question was, do you feel betrayed? The worst betrayal you've ever had as a Manchester United fan is Peter Schmeichel at the end of his career going to City.
Yeah, I know. That's as bad as it's ever got.
Both ended their careers, I'm sure. So both paydays, really.
Yeah, but you saw the best of them, Dave.
I get that. I get that. I do. I get that. And of course, if they're being offered like X to top up their pension, good luck to them. But you asked the question, and that's my.
Do you know what, Dave? I appreciate that, and the fact that you feel sorry for footballers this time of year as well. You really have impressed me.
I don't.
You know, you do, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
He's gone. Dave, thank you very much. The sympathy for Dave from Burton-on-Trent, the Manchester United fan there, offering his sympathy to footballers at this time of year. You are listening to the Sports Bar, Darren Ambrose and Jason Cundy, with our friends here at Bet365.
The Sports Bar with Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday night from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.